Hey, welcome back to another Sunday sermon. Now, for some of you, this Sunday sermon, today's, is going to it's going to upset you. I just want you to know, I love you. I do. I honestly do. It is not my intention to upset you. Please do your best to listen to my words. Put aside your initial response, which will be highly emotional, and try and listen to what I'm trying to say. Because I truly think if you do, it'll make sense. And my hope is that you'll think. I'm not out to change minds. I just want people to think. So, 2,000 years ago, a loose alliance of religious and political ideologues, zealots, shall we say, people who at the time, and who we call today Pharisees, banded together to orchestrate the execution of a young man who threatened to undermine their power, their control, and their dominance. That young man, if you haven't already figured out, that was Jesus. And now fast forward to today, and a loose alliance of Christian national, religious, and political ideologues, who I will call Pharisees, have banded together to successfully elect DJT. Now many, including myself, although not today, are scratching their heads saying, but DJT, he doesn't espouse the values of Jesus. And I say to you, you're right. But that's the point. It's all about maintaining the status quo. It's all about maintaining the power structure. Back then, it was about maintaining the power structure. And today, it's about maintaining the white male power structure, baby. Back then, the Pharisees orchestrated the execution of Jesus because he threatened the status quo. He threatened their power. Remember what he said. He said that the meek would inherit the earth. He said that the rich had about as much chance of getting into heaven as a camel did for getting through the eye of a needle. So what did they do? Well, they were scared. They were threatened. Duh. They conspired to kill him. And they were successful. Because they were not going to let the meek inherit the earth. So what does that have to do with anything going on today, Doc Dave? Let me just say that, at least in my humble opinion, one of the central themes, or at the core of DJT's message, is fuck the meek. Right? That's basically it. If you're downtrodden, if you're marginal, if you're anything but, in his group, screw you. That's it. The rich, or those who aspire to be, don't worry, you can get into heaven, and guess what? You can jump to the front of the line if you grab one of my golden idol Bibles. DJT supports and affirms everything the Pharisees are afraid of losing. He sees them. He says, don't worry, I've got your back. And make no mistake about it, Christian national support of DJT has absolutely nothing to do with the teachings of Jesus. It's an abject rejection of the Beatitudes. Go read them. It's a rejection of Jesus' most fundamental teachings. It's an embracing of power, control, dominance, and idolatry. All of the things Jesus railed against, and the reasons why the Pharisees executed him in the first place. And I have absolutely no doubt that Tucker, Ben, Elon, Donald, all the other Pharisees, and their false prophet friends would have held one hell of a tailgate party at the Crucifixion. Now, one quick note, and this is just recent. Following the election, there has been a coordinated email campaign that has targeted African Americans, and it has sent them messages saying, basically, guess what? A van is going to pull up at your house next week, and you are going to report to a plantation for work. Now, if you are not disgusted by that, then I'm afraid you and I can't have a civil conversation. And if you voted for DJT and you think that's okay, then you and I cannot have a civil conversation. But if you voted for DJT and you think that's wrong and you're not saying anything, then shame on you. And how do I know that the right Christian ideologues are not about the values of Jesus? Because their mouths are shut. They're not saying anything either. And why aren't they saying anything? Why aren't they decrying this disgusting behavior? Because it's all about maintaining the status quo, baby. Why isn't Ben Shapiro saying this is horrible? Because it's all about maintaining the status quo. Why isn't Tucker saying this is disgusting? Because it's all about maintaining the status quo. And the demons probably attacked him in his bed again, telling him not to say anything. They are not espousing the values of Jesus. Because if they did, they would have been out there the day after as disgusted as any other reasonable human being is disgusted. Just a thought. I'll see you next week with another Sunday sermon. Ciao. Love ya.